In earlier newscasts is that this line was in a very healthy environment, more conducive for these storms to maintain their strength or strengthen as they moved across southwest, south central Louisiana. As they're starting to move into southeastern Louisiana and even more so into Mississippi, the environment is not quite as conducive, and it is possible that we will see some of these weakening a bit. Now, these are still very strong storms, so we are still going to see the heavy rainfall, the frequent lightning, and the strong gusty winds, but hopefully we don't see the widespread damage that we did see around the Lake Charles and then also Lafayette area. Still waiting to see if a tornado was confirmed, but they certainly estimated 80-plus-mile-an-hour winds along the leading edge as this line was moving through the Lafayette area a little bit earlier in the evening. Thus far, we really have not seen that. Winds have been less than that, but still at or above the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's why we have the new severe thunderstorm warning that's issued. But then we wanted to cut into programming just to mention that storm that is approaching Acres right now and the potential for what had been a water spout. We can even switch back over to our velocities here, and I'll go back over the last 15 minutes or so. You can clearly see that little rotation kind of showing up right there. So this is just about 8 o'clock. So last 10 minutes, what had been a fairly well-defined little rotation, those little couplets we talk about all the time, what had been a fairly well-defined water spout has now moved on to land. We'll see if that holds together. It does look like it's kind of broadening out. So maybe now the interaction with land, we're not quite seeing that rotation there any longer. And again, thankfully, this does look like it's going to stay south of the Beatico area and then hopefully also stay south of Madisonville. Now, if this little couplet or at least that broad rotation is able to hold together, if it moves out over Lake Pontchartrain, it could try and regenerate a bit. So it'll be something that we watch for over the course of the next 20, 25 to 30 minutes. These are moving very, very quickly. So there is not a whole lot of lead time. As a warning is issued, these storms tend to be right on top of you, and that is probably the most dangerous part of it. Thankfully, I think a lot of folks are now home and off the roads as these storms will be rolling through, and it really has looked like over the trend of the radar that probably some of the strongest of the winds will be more from the lake to the north shore and not quite as much south of the lake. Not to say we won't see the strong and possibly damaging winds in the metro area. It just looks as though some of the strongest may be from the lake northward as we go through the next couple of hours. Something else to note, as we've been mentioning and talking more about the leading edge of these storms, and I'll put our radar into motion here, is that there is the possibility of almost like a quasi-wake low as this leading edge moves on. Even on the backside, we have seen some, at times, gusting winds. So the rain won't be done with, the gusty winds won't be done with either. The worst part of it is obviously going to be this leading edge, which has been moving very rapidly, already affecting our North Shore parishes, now through the river parishes and down into our bayou parishes. I think most of this will be kind of wrapping up by about 10 o'clock or so, at least as far as the leading edge goes with the greater threat of severe weather. And then ongoing past midnight, we may still have some gusty winds and some rainfall, even some embedded thunderstorms, but I think by that point, the severe risk will be gone. So we'll just mention one more time, again, what had looked to be more of a water spout over the northern part of Lake Maurepas had been more of a possible, if that was able to reach land, a possible tornado around Acres, Louisiana, and then what appears to be the case now is that it is already past Acres and almost out of the that little area of a couple of roads where it does look like it's now more over the marshier areas of southern Tangipahoa Parish. We will cut into programming throughout the night if it is necessary. Otherwise, we'll probably be wrapping things up during WWL Louisiana News at 10 p.m. and then the rest of the overnight period will be far quieter. Another couple of hours to go. We'll be watching for these strong storms. Again, cutting in if necessary. Otherwise, we'll see you right back here at 10.
This has been a severe weather alert from WWL Weather, sponsored by Egan Insurance Agency.